goals from players from the bench. By far the best team in Premier League in that aspect. And this season already happened in 2 games twice. It's not a coincidence, but it speaks more about the players that we have, the character that we have in our dressing room.
I think for me it's clear and obvious. He's got 2 hands in my back. He's created an advantage for himself. He's clearly stopped me from getting to the ball. So yeah, for me, I think it should have been a foul.
I felt that we were a good team until our goal, and then we forget about our ideas and try to hold on the advantage. So we are struggling so much. We want to win so bad football games that when we score, we were just thinking about hold the advantage.
I just wonder how much that little collision with the referee affected you.
No, obviously, as everyone, you have your own routine, and I was preparing myself to get the penalty. Yeah, that got a little bit of my nerves, but it's not because of that I missed the penalty. I missed the penalty because I kicked very bad the ball. I took it 2 under, and the ball ended up going over the bar.
We'll get on to the taking of the penalty in a second, but there's quite a lot to unpick, isn't there, in the actual awarding of that penalty?
Yeah, it's a tale of a number of corners within the game, and one of the main ones was the penalty that was given, and VAR rearing its head again. And we're looking at Casemiro, and the sole purpose of Mount and Shaw is to clear the path and block the players, and I'll say it, hold the players of Fulham to stop them getting in challenging. Now, Cunny almost does that for them, but there's no real appeal from any Manchester United players. And one of the reasons is they said it was given that was Bassi was the initiator, the person who fouls first within there. And we look, Luke Shaw's already got hold of Munoz in there, and Mason Mount is going in. They both instigate the move. If they didn't instigate the move, those 2 players would be happy to go and make the header and clear the ball. We can see that, yes, Calvin Bassey does throw him over the leg, his own leg, but within that you've got a number of fouls already being committed, and if there's any doubt, we can see the other arm there of both players holding the play. Now, they have no intention of going playing the ball. So their sole purpose is to hold and foul the Fulham players, and that's what they've done. So it's a really dubious call, or unclear. So in the eyes of VAR, there's enough doubt in there to stay out and just leave it as a football in motion. You can't do that, as Calvin Bassey said. He's admitted himself, I shouldn't do that. But Troy, have you ever had a referee come along and try and put you off after giving you a penalty? Because it did help. He says it didn't, but it did.
I think Bruno, fair play to him, he's fronted up there, but it has knocked him off his stride, because normally he'd be more composed now and he passes it in, but he actually lashes this one, and a little bit of pressure. And I think for Amorim, he just wants that moment. They started the game off so well and they haven't got the goals, and he must be thinking, what have I got to do to just get the win over the line? Cunha hitting the post, then that missing the penalty. The game could have been out of sight.
And then there was more controversy in the build-up to the goal itself, and another situation where a foul could have been given.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it's a tweak that Man United did. So you can see here with Fulham, they overload the front post here. So they've got 4 in there in the areas here. So Man U would target the back post, as Rob has just alluded to. But if we move it on to the second half, again, same setup, but now Man United at half-time have deliberately moved it to the back post. They've got Yoro and Bassi here. I want you to keep an eye on Bassi. Great ball in from Brian and Burmo here. Again, got that quality. But he just pushes him in the back there, Lady Yoro, gets the header. Muniz turns his back, which I don't think Marco Silva will be too happy about. But for me, that's a foul. When you push the defender in the back, and it's more, not, could he be stronger? Yes. Absolutely. Would I want my centre-back to be stronger? Of course I would. But where the ball lands is where Bassi would have been. So he's moved him out of the way. And here's the perfect example. Look, the 2 hands in the back, pushes him just enough off balance. It's a poor header, but ends up going in the back of the net. But for me, that's a foul.
It has a direct impact on the goal. Mm-hmm. And you're looking for VAR, when you have something clear and obvious that has a direct impact on the goal, you flag it and then you ask the referee to go over.
Bassi was saying afterwards, wasn't he, that he was told that it didn't have a direct impact, which is why it wasn't given as a foul, but clearly it did.
Yeah. Well, you're looking at VAR to say you should have stayed out of the first one and actually stepped in with the second one and got it the wrong way round.
Let's talk about some positivity, and Fulham's substitutes are certainly that, aren't they? Dynamic, energetic, changing the game for them.
Yeah, and again, we're going to get onto the benches afterwards, but for me, I think Fulham have been great since the back end of last year. They've scored 19 goals now with their subs, and every sub that they made was an attacking one with more positive impact. And as soon as we break through here, look, you got Jimenez, Smith Rowe, Harry Wilson on the other side, all running forward. Again, but when the changes for Man United for me goes wrong, because this would have been Ahmad, he would have turned his side a set. But even Dalot on this, just set it to Fernandes. Look, it's 3v2 on the top line. Just manage the game. He doesn't, for some reason, tries to turn out. It won't be great on the front foot. And this is another substitute here with Robertson, and he makes this goal for me. Lovely little ball. He could have stood at Amari's work, but look, he runs into the space. In that, he moves Lenny Yoro, Ugarte, and even Dalot goes to him as well. But he forces the lit to come across. He now opens up that space, and look at all good forwards. Emile Smith Rowe, he just looks at there, runs in, runs off Bruno Fernandes and scores. And for me, Fernandes is at fault in this, and I'm going to show you why here. Just as that goes now, look, you can see Smith Rowe to his left. Everyone's body position is moving forward. Now they're all locked in, man for man. He can't let that player go because he has to wait for someone to take him off him. Unfortunately, he does. It's a wonderful ball from Alex Iwobi, and it's a lovely deft finish from Smith Rowe. But Man United have themselves to blame.
You mentioned about how successful they've been in terms of the effect and the impact of their subs. 19 now they're on. You said 17 over last season from their subs goals, and obviously goals often mean points, and for them, you know, crucial, valuable points. They got one. Same thing happened to them last week as well. I guess that points to Marco Silva having to then really kind of balance his squad out, doesn't it? Because Smith Rowe will want to start, but what an impact he's made for him today.
Yeah, and you're looking a couple of years ago, it was a Fulham side that couldn't change the course of a game. They really were stuck in setting a gear and couldn't really have an impact. But now you looked at how they played, and it was brilliantly highlighted of the runners beyond, the runners from midfield. And Marco Silva highlighted that before the game and after the game, saying they've got the 3 or the 5 at the back, whichever way you want to put it. So we need those extra runners. They had them in abundance on the bench, and you just had to wait for that time. And it's selling it to your players to say, you're on the bench, but you're going to have to make this impact in the game, and they're doing it time and time again.
And when you look at those two benches, Manchester United and Fulham's, and you think about the fact that Fulham have spent about £400,000 in the transfer window, and Manchester United considerably more. Those benches for you, Troy, are actually unbalanced the way you wouldn't think.
Yes, I think for me, when you look at it, Šeško is the only one who's a natural attacking positive option. The rest of them, again, Xerxes had a poor season. Man United fans are not sure. Mainu and Maguire, Ugarte, they're all like for like subs. When you look at Fulham, they can make defensive changes, they can make attacking changes, they can change formation. Just seems more well-rounded. So for me, it just looks as if that Man United have got so much work to do, and also they have to leave people out. Your Garnachos, the Sanchos, the decisions that they've made is actually hampering them. So they need to get rid of these players quickly, or they've got to put them in, because now they're killing themselves.
So with that in mind, and the transfer window coming to a close, very soon, what do they need to do in this next
business
week or so?
quick. They need to get out to get in, because they need options on the bench.
Do they need a keeper?
And a keeper. If Onana's not your man, Vendi is certainly not your man.
Yeah. Nervous today on corners.
Yes.
An understatement, to say the least.
On that,
yeah.
Okay. Next to...
Hi, Rúben. Just your thoughts on that first of all, please.
It was a tough match. I think when we score the goal, we forget about maintaining the way we should play. We were just thinking about maintaining the results. We want to win so bad that we forget about maintaining the possession, try to push the opponent. We just gave a little bit the game to Fulham. We started really well until the goal. I think we were a good team. We can do better. After the goal, I think, again, we were just thinking about maintaining the advantage. We cannot do that.
Sam?
Rúben, you obviously prioritised this summer the attacking part of your team, but the goals have not been easy, and I appreciate that Cunha in particular was unlucky, one of which he made himself with the ball out of the sky. Are you concerned that the problem of not scoring last year is still there?
No, I forget about last season. I think the feeling is there. Like you said to you, when we were playing the game, we scored a goal, and I didn't feel that the team was more confident now to face the game. We were more concerned about now we are winning. We need to hold on the result. The goals are going to. We are going to score goals because we are creating so many chances, and that is the most important thing. And then we just have to move on.
Rich. Rúben, it's another game where Kobbie Mainoo will stay on the bench. I think you've said before that he needs to increase the rhythm, increase the pace of his game. Is that why he hasn't had any minutes yet? And what do you mean by that?
No,
Quicker or more dynamic?
No, because he's fighting for the position now with Bruno. And I changed two midfielders. I let Mason Mount there because we want to score a goal. And then when I change, I felt that the team needed to return to one holder midfielder near Bruno. So we just need to fight the position with Bruno, like should be in the Manchester United.
Competition for Bruno.
Yes, for Bruno, and then he's going to play with Bruno. But in the moment, he's fighting in training with Bruno for the position.
So the front three have shown promise, Mason, Ryan and Matthias, but do you think there's been a shift? It's been difficult for players to change preparations for games. In the midway through pre-season, you had Russell starting games, and then I think the last 3 or 4 games you've not started with a striker, so players had to adjust to a new way of playing without.
No. I think it's a normal thing, and when you reach this level, Cunha can play. Cunha played in as a striker or as a 10 in the former club. I think I felt that during these last games that with Mason Mount, sometimes we are more robust in the way we play. So we are going to change accordingly the result and the opponent and try to win games.
Last question in this section, for Rich.
Rúben, we've seen 2 cameos now from Ben Francesco. I was wondering what you made of Šeško's first appearances for United.
I think he needs time. It's not easy to get. Sometimes you are on the bench and you go to the game and the game is really fast. I think he is understanding that the game is even faster than in Bundesliga. But he's fighting. He had some good connections with the teammates. I felt that when he was on the pitch was not on our best moment, and that can change the way you see a player. So I'm really happy because he's putting all the effort. We need just to help. We need to be sometimes in the better moment to help him to show the quality that he has.
Okay, move on to our pre-Grimsby press conference in Margate until 1:30 on Tuesday.